Hey guys, Steve here for Who Took My Dice, and welcome to the first 500. Hi everyone, so welcome to the first army build using the new Space Marine Codex. So I've built up the first 500 points using some of the new models I've gotten, some of the old ones I've had for years and years and years. Before we dive into that, I want to make sure everyone here, this is a formal invitation. If you haven't already, go to Facebook and go to Faith and Damnation Hobby Group. It's a group that I'm actually admin on. A fantastic group, a positive, awesome place to be. Yeah, dive in and have a look. And I'll be one of the people who'll be letting you in. So let's dive to the table now. I'm going to go through what I've got in the army, some of the cool new tricks in here, some of the cool new changes to weapons and rules, and the first 500 points. Here we go. We're going to start with a Space Marine Captain. That's right. Captains are just a nice solid HQ choice for Space Marines, and we are spoiled for them now with the new Codex. I've gone with your basic firstborn Space Marine Captain armed with a Astartes chain sword and a power fist. Just a good, solid, reliable HQ choice. Rites of battle, getting to reroll those ones on attacks for core units. Lots of different options. Good, solid 4 attacks, 5 wounds. Just a nice, solid base. Plus, there's actually some cool special rules around a whole bunch of different elite choices that are really, really dependent on having a captain. So that's what he's for. Basically an anchor for future builds. But that's pretty much it for the captain. I love the model. It's an old Games Day veteran model from, 2006, somewhere in there. It's just old. And I turned to a 9th company captain. Just really like the model. That's why I went with him. Next up is Assault Intercessors as their troop choice for the first 500 points. I am a huge fan of these models. I just love them. They're so great. Armed with their heavy bolt pistols, an 18-inch range actually puts you outside the range of most other pistol weapons. The Astartes chain swords are awesome with that -1 AP. The extra attack with shock assault. These guys come out having 4 attacks each, 5 for the sergeant, of course. Some really cool stuff. They actually have some great, fantastic stratagems as well. There's one specifically designed for them called Honor the Chapter, where as long as they're in engagement range at the end of the combat phase, they get to attack again. Another great one that's just for Primaris is Transhuman Physiology. The wording's a bit complicated. Basically, any wound roll, unmodified wound roll of a 1, 2, or 3 is completely ignored. Basically making it much harder for these guys to take damage. The 2 wounds is great. Just a fantastic close combat unit. Lots of power in there with the stratagems, and being your captain just boosts them to an extra level. I am a huge fan of these guys. I love these models, as I said. I'm glad to have them as my troop choice for this 500 points. Next, it's an attack bike squad. So I have just one of these guys done up. Another awesome little bit of mobile heavy support with the heavy bolter there. Now that one looks twin link, but it just counts as a standard heavy bolter. Again, these guys are toughness 5, 4 wounds, 2 attacks, armed with the heavy bolter, the twin bolt guns, bolt pistol. These guys are great little fire point. Their role in this army will be back up the assault intercessors and the captain with the heavy bolter fire. And I love the heavy bolters now. They're still only heavy 3, 36 inches though. They're strength 5, AP -1, but the big change is their damage 2 now. So this one model has the potential to do 6 damage at AP -1. The turbo boost is great. They get to just move 6 inches instead of rolling D6 for advancement. And they also have a cool stratagem, which is skilled bike. What is it? Skilled. I'm just going to look in the book here. Skilled riders. Yes, so if they turbo boost, if they advance, it's -1 to hit them, which is fantastic. It allows them to get into basically, it just gives them a bit more survivability. I'm really looking forward to having these guys backing up my intercessors. It's nice to have a bit of mobile anti-infantry there. As you see with another units, they can also be used there to maybe add some extra long-range firepower if necessary. Really, really good, solid unit. And now the Devastator squad. So yes, I have a Devastator squad filled with heavy bolters. I love these guys. I've had these guys for a long time. The new veteran sergeant, well, new, that's also an old veteran model. I took out an old school, just basic Marine, replaced him with him, give him that veteran feel. These guys are awesome again, like the attack bike, all heavy bolters, still the normal 36 range, strength 5, AP -1. However, 2 damage, 3 shots each. It's 12 shots. You're looking at the potential of 24 damage from this one unit. So they're just fantastic. First turn with a Devastator doctrine, they become AP -2. And there's actually an awesome stratagem that these guys can use too, called Steady Advance. Basically, any sort of Astartes infantry, as long as they just do a normal move, they count as being stationary, which is fantastic. So if they're not in a perfect firing point, there might be some cover or terrain in the way, I can actually move them, a normal move, and still fire without a -1 to my shooting, which is great. Just great fire support. These guys can stay up near the front maybe, or use them at the back to cover a back objective and just lay down tons and tons of firepower. It's fantastic. Again, if they're near the captain, they get to reroll those 1s, which is a bonus. Really, really another nice unit. Love them. Not sure if I'll ever replace these guys. Obviously, the Hellblasters have their own unique advantages, or there's the Fire Strike servo turrets, or a number of other options, but I just really love these Devastators. And last but very not least is my Predator Annihilator. Now this is the old Predator that I salvaged up and modified a bit, but I want to keep it in my army. Another great tank. I'm glad they kind of gave it its own data city in it. It used to be just piled in for a few editions there just as a Predator with the options. Twin las cannons, heavy 2, strength 9, AP -3, D6 each. Again, potential to put a ton of damage. And it could take a bit of a beating too. A couple cool stratagems for them are Armor of Contempt, which is a nice one. Basically, mortal wounds are ignored on a 5+. Also, Power of the Machine Spirit, which is great. If you use that one, you actually get to use its full undamaged stat line when determining what is needed to either move or fire, how many attacks it gets. You get to use the full undamaged stat line, which is great, especially if it takes damage early on or near the end of the game where you really you need it to be able to move the full 12 inches and maybe not 6 or 3, or you need to hit on that 3+ instead of a 4+ or a 5+. Very, very handy. Again, it's just a great addition. I like it. Lots of heavy firepower. This is a tank that will stay in the back, and it's going to be targeting the big units, the big tanks, the big beasts, whatever you we're up against. Yeah, good. And I'm really glad I was able to save this model. I actually had to rip off the sponsons here. I moved this around. The old sponsons just kept breaking, so I just flipped it around, took the doors off, moved this around so the turret was actually further near the back instead of the middle. Just happy to save a model. And there you go, the Predator Annihilator. And here is the full 500-point army in all its glory. Stoic captain leading his charges into war to defeat the enemies of the Emperor. Really happy with how this turned out. I like the fact that even with some newer models and older models, everything still looks like it belongs to the same army. So there you go, guys. The first 500-point army using the new Space Marine Codex. It's a fantastic book. There's so many awesome rules in there. A lot to go through. I'm still reading through all the Crusade stuff. Still trying to go through all the special rules. There's some really unique combinations in there. Lots of cool stuff that'll be going into the next 1,000 points and beyond to build a really cool army of Space Marines. I'm really, really happy with how this army is turning out, and I'm really thankful to you guys for watching, sticking through it. Just look for the next one. I'm going to be having another one up soon where I look at the 1,000 points of Space Marines. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't, please subscribe. hit the like button, share with your friends, and please check out Faith and Damnation on Facebook. It's a fantastic group. We've got mentors, just a bunch of really awesome people just celebrating the hobby. So please check that out. And as always, keep rolling those dice, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.